So I decided to go ahead and do my Bible study after I ate and read through Blink and was just took my mind off of it, right? Because I was reading something in Blink about spontaneous thinking, and they was using an example of how individuals that do improv come up with pretty much uses thin slicing often. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It just got me interested, and I read more and was just enlightened for the most part about just, again, how our minds think and how individuals that do improv are very intentional about how they do their work and how they, do like leading responses so the other person will know how to respond and try to keep everything on track. So that was interesting. I said all that to say it just took my mind away from what was disturbing me earlier. And I said, well, I'm gonna go ahead and sit down and just do my Bible study. That way tonight I only have to do my meditation. And I think I'm gonna do my meditation when I finish my Bible study before I start working. In my office, I have a little space that I think I'm gonna just woosah and for my 9 minutes and do that. That way I don't have to worry about anything tonight. And I wanna do some edits tonight and just kind of sit back and chill out and just start anew, because tomorrow I'm going to do this all over again. But anyway, when I was getting into my studying, I just kept I was trying to pick a topic, and I was like, you're doing too much. Just pull up some notes, because I have plenty of notes. So one Saturday, the second Saturday of the month, my church have Women of the Word, and so that they have breakfast, and then we have ministry. So there's praise and worship, and then it's just pretty much Bible study. And during that time, some interesting things came up, because the subject was relationship keys, unlocking the door, and talking about, for the most part, relationships and different types of relationships and how you should govern yourselves in relationships and what are healthy relationships and all of that. But when I was reading through my notes, the scriptures that came up were really pertaining to my struggle, which is, how do I handle people that annoy me, right? So it's like, how do you handle people that annoy you? And it doesn't specifically talking about being annoyed, but it does talk about how you handle people. So I'm in Colossians 4:6, and it reads, let me read the New King James Version. It talks about, yes, let your speech always be with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how you ought to answer each other. So for the most part, be gentle, be thoughtful about your messaging. The New Living Translation version says, let your conversation be gracious and attractive, so that you will have the right response for everyone. That. Colossians 4:6. Let your conversations be gracious and attractive, so that you will have the right response for everyone. But when you talk about conversation, that goes both ways. So anyway, if everybody applied those strategies, that message in general, then it will be easier, right? But if you're having a conversation with somebody who does not operate in that space, then now you're the only one that's being mindful about your words. Hold on. My apologies. Someone was at my door. But like I was saying, if you're having a conversation with someone who does not operate in that space, it makes it hard, right? Because you're trying your best to choose your words, and it's like you're fighting a battle by yourself, because they're not necessarily even receiving what you're trying to say, and they're focusing more on what they're trying to say. So, but this word was helpful because, of course, it says let your conversation, but there's also responses in Proverbs 15:1. A kind answer soothes angry feelings, but harsh words stir them up, right? So that goes back to, of course, how you use your words and communicate with people. But glad I have these notes, because again, and I'm And I took notes from my phone, and I ended up being able to just print them out like little, I can keep these in like a journal or something. It's pretty cool. I didn't realize that I can print out my notes like this, and it comes out perfectly. So glad I could keep good notes. Proverbs 16:24 says, kind words are like honey, sweet for the soul and healthy for the body. Goes back to, again, kind words. Proverbs 15:4, kind words bring life, but cruel words crush your spirit. So with that being said, making sure that I'm always governing myself in that space. Even when people annoy me, being sure to choose my words. And sometimes it requires just getting out of the conversation. Like if you're on the phone, maybe it's okay, it's time for me to get off the phone. And, you know, if you're not there yet, or if you feel yourself getting there and you just, either you have the words and they're not receiving the words, or whatever that looks like. But that was my thing. Like I was trying to articulate myself and explain to this person, but it just wasn't being received. So, you know, that became annoying. And moving forward, I just have to figure out how to deal with when I'm annoyed. Also in that day doing Bible study, that she gave a great example of, should you say it? And so you can take the think analysis, the think test, right? T is true. Is it true? Whatever it is that you're about to say, is it true? H is it helpful? So whatever it is you're about to say, it may be true, but is it going to help this person? Like truly help them? I is it inspiring? It may be helpful. It may be true, but does it inspire? N is it necessary? Are you just saying something to be saying it? Is it really, really necessary? And K is it kind? That part. So that's just, again, that's think. True, helpful, inspiring, necessary, kind. Think about those things before you say it. So if you think that it's not going to be one of those, or all of those, should I say, then chances are you just don't need to say it. Some things you can keep to yourself. Another quote she mentioned, her name is Nael Zimbron, who's a pastor at the church. You don't have to allow your mouth to often speak your mind. Let me say that again. You don't have to allow your mouth to often speak your mind. And that was for me. That was for me, because I'm this girl. You know, I am better though. So a lot of times I just say, and hold my tongue. And there's a lot of times where I just don't. And just sometimes you just don't have to say anything, you know. Sometimes you can get your message across through silence, you know. I've learned that too. I've tried that tactic, and it's like sometimes I'm just gonna be quiet. And I was quiet during one meeting to the point to where my friend called me and she was like, girl, you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. She was like, you was quiet. I said, oh yeah, because I just didn't have anything to say. Because I felt like if I said something, it may be negative, and I just did not want to put that out there either. So I just opted to say nothing, and that worked for me. Like I didn't allow room to get mad. I just opted to say nothing, and that nothing was felt, you know, whether it was negative or positive, but that nothing had some volume. But yeah, anyway. That's my Bible study for today, and just a reminder to myself that I can control what I say. I can also control who I say it to or who I engage myself with, right? That just goes back to just relationships and being mindful of who do you have in your, you know, space in your circle, and if you're going to have to have those people in your circle, how do you deal with them? How do you adjust? How do you regroup, right? Because it just took me a long time to regroup, and I don't have that type of time. So if when I come in contact with this person and it could potentially result in this, chances are I will prevent coming in contact with this person, because I don't want to take that time and energy to regroup if something happens. Like, I know I can talk to most of my friends, family, and not be upset when I get off the phone. Like, that never happens. Or if I get upset while I'm on the phone, I'm okay by the time we get off, because we've talked it through, or we've gotten clarity, and we have an understanding, and I can, you know, change a negative into a positive. But this particular case, I could not. But that wasn't a me thing. It was truly a them thing. Like, that wasn't a me thing. It was definitely a them thing. But I still need to know how to govern myself with the them things, right? So still working, still learning, still growing. But that word was good, and that was what I needed to constantly be thinking about. How I engage in the words that I choose, and how I choose to deliver those words. So be kind, be patient. Bye. Add it again. Now I'm making packets for this event. So I made my labels. Canva and Word, figure that out. And I'm just putting them on the top here. So they're gonna be care kits. Inside the care kits is what they will ultimately look like. And inside here, there is a lip balm, there is an Advil, there is a Lifesaver, you have Gatorade, like electrolytes, and there is Jesus. Of course, my business card is in the back. Then there's lip balm. There's a mint. I think I showed y'all in another video I made those mints. There is eye drop. It's a single-use eye drop. There is an Advil packet. And there is hand sanitizer. So that is all inside HEC's care kit.